welcome to another episode of What's Happening with Leila in the Minion Masters world. And guys, I gotta tell you, it's been a really good week, all right? If you are in the Minion Masters Discord, make sure you give the devs some props because they did not only one hotfix, they also have some news out on NERFS that they are going to be implementing and news on wildcards. So guys, it's been a really good week. And the first thing we're going to start with today is the hotfix because, as you guys know, Saving Jadespark Jungle just came out last week. So the devs reacted pretty quickly and they have a hotfix out a week after the expansion, which I believe is probably the fastest they've done so far. So definitely give them some props and congratulate them for that because this is the kind of stuff we want to see, right? When we see that there's an issue, we like to see it handled sooner than later, you know, instead of waiting until the next expansion happens. So I know a lot of people are really excited about this, and this is the hotfix, is it actually affects new cards from Saving Jadespark Jungle. So the first one is going to be the Jade Flingers. Their attack speed has increased and their damage has decreased. The good thing about that is that also affects them in the Jadespark Watchers card. Now the Jadespark Watchers card already this week, they increase it from 8 mana to 9. And again, we are seeing another nerf where it goes from 9 mana to 10. So essentially, the Jadespark Watchers card went from 8 mana to 10. And not only that, the Jade Flingers that are in the Jadespark Watchers also have a higher attack speed and less damage. So overall, we're looking at a nerf to this card, which a lot of people can agree really took over the meta very quickly at the beginning of the expansion. The next one is Shen's Shock Stick. The mana cost goes from a 3 to a 4, which is very reasonable. Brother of the Burning Fist, the mana increases from 6 to 7. Also very reasonable because Brother of the Burning Fist is a pretty strong card in this expansion. And Smite damage decreased from 300 to 250. So these are some fast hotfixes to the new expansion, and people seem to be pretty happy about this, okay? So make sure you let me know what you think about these changes down in the comments below, because this is just for Saving Jadespark Jungle. But this isn't the only news that the devs have released this week. If you're in the blog, you are going to see that they also have upcoming balance changes and free Twitch Prime DLC. So what does this mean? I'm not going to really take the time to go over all this. You guys can read this in the blog. But in the next version coming out, which is 1.11, which should be coming out at the end of this month, they are going to be making some changes to the low-cost cards. And why are they doing this? Well, what's going to make a lot of people happy is that they mention right down here is this change. There's a secondary benefit to the changes we wish to make. It helps lay the groundwork for the upcoming Wildcards rework we are currently planning. So this should make a lot of people happy because there's been so much going on in regards to wildcards, okay? So we don't exactly know what the changes will be to wildcards, but it looks like what they're doing is a step in the right direction. So here are the changes you can look forward to. Blood Imps. Mana cost is going to go from 0 to 1. So now they are going to cost you mana. Damage is going to be 10 to 15. And attack speed is going to go from 1 to 1.1. The Illusionary Cleaver damage is going to decrease from 20 to 10. Nether Bats, the mana cost is going to increase from 1 to 2. And the damage is going to increase from 20 to 35. And they will no longer have a reduced aggro range. The next one is the spells Bats, and as they say here, the change was made due to the rescaling of the Nether Bat, which we just saw above. For this one, the mana cost is going to go from 4 to 5, and the duration is going to be from 6 to 5. Screaming Scrat is a big one because Screaming Scrat has so much value being at a 1 cost. So this one is going to go from 1 to 2 mana. The damage is actually going to go up from 60 to 100, but it's also going to have more health. It says that the Screaming Scrat will no longer share stats with Armored Scrats. So that's a big change going out to the Screaming Scrat. The Sewer Scrat mana cost is going to change from 1 to 2 mana. The Poison Tick is going to go from 5 to 3. And now the Sewer Scrat is going to be an Armored Scrat. Now, as far as Armored Scrats go, instead of dying, it says they're now going to turn into a regular Scrat, and the damage is going to be decreased from 20 to 10. Bridge Buddies is the wording on it is going to be changed back to summon a Scrat if you own a bridge, summon an armored Scrat. So we'll have to see how this one looks, because right now you end up getting 2 armored. Propeller Horde. So they said they made a change to the Propeller Horde because of the change they're making to the Illusionary Cleaver. Is unactivated unit count is 5 going to 6, and when it's activated, it's going from 10 to 8. So this is only some of the changes. It looks like these are the major ones that they want to talk about, but as they mentioned here, it's only some of them. They will be releasing more, and it looks like we can look forward to this patch on 1.11. I talked about the Might of the Slither Lords DLC last week, so again, there's a really nice blurb in it in the blog about the Might of the Slither Lords DLC, which you can get for free if you have Twitch Prime, and I believe you can get it from now until May 5th, alright? So make sure you check that out. And the last thing we're going to talk about today is a lot of people have been asking for the dev's living roadmap. If you did not know, you can actually get the living roadmap on Steam. So when you go to Minion Masters on Steam, you're going to see content for the game, recent events, and announcements. If you keep scrolling down, here is the living roadmap. So what is this? This is the dev's timeline, essentially, for items that they're working on. And this is where we are right now, March. So version 1.10 was the new expansion for Saving Jadespark Jungle. Version 1.11, which we just talked about, is they're expected to have a new card free for a week, major balance changes, which we just looked at, and then they also mentioned a warrior visual rework, all right? April talks about changes for April, talks about changes for May, and it talks about other changes that they have on the board, but not necessarily a date for just yet. So this is something that if you want to see what they are working on to kind of give you an idea of what to look forward ahead, this is where you can go to that. And this is where a lot of people are always excited to see this Wildcards rework, which as we just saw, they are working on it slowly, but I would expect because changing wildcards would change the game drastically, they have to kind of make it in a progress to make sure that everybody can still play the game properly. But this is where you will find their living roadmap on Steam if you want to see it for yourself and keep up to date. Thanks so much for hanging out with me this week on what's happening with Leila and Minion Masters. Guys, leave me some comments down below. Let me know what you think. Are you happy with these changes? I mean, we see some nerfs, we see some buffs, we see the big news that they are really working on a wildcard rework. Let me know what you guys think. If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. It's free and it helps the channel to grow. Please consider hitting the like. Please leave me a comment. Maybe even share with some of your other friends, you know, especially if they don't know what some of these changes are. And you know what? I'm really enjoying these weekly what's happening with Leila in the Minion Master world content. And so I hope that you guys are too. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Thanks, guys. Bye. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed our video, you can catch us live on twitch.tv/LeilaFoxNation 4 days a week on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come on by and be part of our community, and we'll see you there.